Greetings, B-movie aficionados.
All right, hello, welcome to Couple of Flicks. I am Tristan.
I am Nick.
And I'm Zach.
All right, and today we are reviewing another film on the IMDB bottom 100 list. So, and the one we are talking about and discussing today is called The Adventures of Pluto Nash. And it stars Eddie Murphy, and it is an action comedy.
Yeah.
Is it a comedy?
Is it
Supposed to be.
action? I know it's a sci-fi.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be more comedical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually kind of wasn't a comedy. Like,
I didn't find it to be that funny. Yeah. Eddie Murphy just was a little bit of a smart ass, but that's about it.
Yeah.
but yeah, you've seen this one before, Zach, right?
Yeah. It
Okay.
it was a lot better than I remember it being, actually, but still not good.
Yeah, actually, I hadn't seen this one. If I did, I don't remember. I know I've seen a lot of these kinds of movies. Like I've seen a lot of these movies that kind of had like the same sort of like quality that this one had. Where it's kind of just like, a main character going from one set piece to another. I've seen a lot of those kinds of movies. And so if I had seen this one probably sort of blurred into all of those, but I'm pretty sure I hadn't seen it. So this is the first time I watched it, and yeah, it's weird because I didn't find it funny at all. There weren't like when about an hour into it, I kind of realized like, wait a minute, yeah, like have there been jokes? I mean, because like the gags have not really been gags; they mostly were kind of like part of the plot, and it was sort of like, yeah, I don't know. There weren't really any gags in it. It was actually just like a lot of set pieces, So,
Yeah.
but having said that though, yeah, this actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I gotta say.
Me too.
I remember. Yeah. Okay. Had you seen it before, Nick?
No. And the reason why I thought it was going to be so bad was because I thought it was a different movie. Like, because I was like, oh, is this the movie where he's in a spaceship of himself? You remember? And
Oh, that's
I thought it was that movie.
Dave.
Yeah,
Meet
Dave.
Dave.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was
I've
that
seen,
movie.
I've seen that one actually. Yeah, I've seen both that and Norbit. So.
Yeah, I've seen Norbit, but not
Yeah.
Meet Dave or this one. I thought this was Meet Dave, so I was confused. I thought it was going to be a comedy, but it wasn't really, I don't think.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, but when I watched this though, I was actually pleasantly surprised by, like, even though it didn't make me laugh, it was better than I thought it was going to be. Because I do remember I remember when the movie came out, and I remember thinking that it looked terrible. I remember it came out around the same time as Goldmember. For some reason. Yeah.
Huh.
And I remember the trailers for it, and I remember thinking like, oh my God, I'm never gonna watch that one. Like and I like Eddie Murphy's movies actually. I've enjoyed quite a lot of them. There's a lot that I don't like as well. Like I haven't loved all of his movies, but there's a lot of his films that I have enjoyed. This one I actually like. I didn't enjoy it as a comedy, but I did enjoy it like as far as like the plot goes. Like the plot wasn't really all that interesting, but it was interesting enough. Like I still kind of wanted to see what would happen and where it was leading, So how would you describe the plot? It's like he's like a nightclub owner, right?
Yeah.
He was a smuggler first. He came off very fucking Harrison Ford. Han Solo.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
like a more sassy, I guess. Han Solo, like mouthy.
Yeah.
He like just got out of prison or something.
Yeah, yeah. He just
Yeah.
got out of prison for smuggling. I forget.
Yeah.
I forget what he smuggled, but it was something stupid.
Yeah. It was like yeah, I don't remember. It
I
was
think
it,
it's
it was
just
like
like,
wood or something.
oh yeah, some of it was. I think it's just a bunch of random
Wood.
stuff though, because he had that like hideout later on,
Mm.
like a bunch of random stuff,
Yeah,
or maybe
that
no,
makes sense.
things from Earth or something because they're on the moon.
Yeah, it was stuff from Earth that they couldn't get easily there. Just something basic.
Yeah. Um. Okay. So. All right. So yeah. So then Rosario Dawson, who I forgot was in this movie, by the way. Like I know she was in like Josie and the Pussycats and a few other movies around this time. Um. And yeah, I forgot she was in this one, but so she gets kind of mixed up with him because she's looking for like work or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think
All right.
she had like a, I don't know, her work visa for the moon, because this takes place on the moon, like a moon base called Little
Yeah.
America, and I think she
Yeah.
was gonna get sent home or something, right? If
yeah,
she didn't get a job or
Yeah.
something like that.
Basically. And so so he eventually decides to help her. But then at that point it's kind of too little too late because then like um uh okay, so this is when I start getting mixed up because I sort of forgot exactly like what the antagonist was doing. I watched this movie kind of the same time I watched like a couple other movies that we've been talking about, so I've been getting the villain plots mixed up a little bit.
Yeah. I think it was like, so after he's out of jail and everything, he's been owning a
Mhm.
club, like the
Yeah,
best club in Little America or whatever, for 7 years. And the bad guy just wants, at first, just wants to buy him out or something like
yeah,
that, I think. And then it evolves from there to him
okay,
trying to kill Eddie Murphy, something
yeah.
like that,
yeah. And he keeps
basically.
fleeing. He keeps fleeing
Yeah.
while also like garnering information along the way from various people. Because another like the running, basically the only joke of this movie is like a running gag that he knows all these people, and he knows so many people that are constantly helping him that he's able to just get through things easily because he's so sociable. And it's like, I guess that's a joke in a way, but it's not really like a funny joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if that's a joke. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Because like, how many times did
Uh,
did that happen in the movie where he'd run into people who he'd either helped or worked with or like somehow knew? Like,
It's pretty much how we got out of everything in this movie.
yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then it got to the point where like became ridiculous. At one point, they're freezing to death,
Hmm.
and or they're like running out of oxygen or something.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
out.
And
They were after a car chase. They are like,
yeah,
they ran out of
and
gas on the moon. They are outside of the bubble or thing.
and they just so happen to get rescued by somebody who's a deranged fan of
Oh,
Pluto
Luis
Nash.
Guzman. Yep,
Yeah.
Luis
Yeah,
Guzman.
who I was happy to see in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, because at first I was like, "Is this okay? So what's going on?" And then as soon as I saw Louis Guzman, I was like, "All right, movie's over. Like, I don't even care anymore." Like,
Yeah.
so yeah. And then okay, all right. So and then at the end, wasn't there like a twin battle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so fucking stupid.
It
That
was
was
really
not.
dumb, but I like that they tried to do something different. Like I like the fact that they actually tried to end it a little bit like differently than what one would expect. Like you still had like Eddie Murphy against the bad guy. It just wasn't the bad guy that you expected. It was a doppelganger.
But I
I like
also
that.
wasn't surprised at all. Like, I
Yeah.
think they're trying to go for a oh shit
Yeah.
moment, but there was no.
Well, I mean, I did expect the oh shit moment for sure. I didn't expect it to be an Eddie Murphy doppelganger, but then in hindsight, it's like it's an Eddie Murphy movie. Like, of course, it's going to be an Eddie Murphy doppelganger. Because how many movies now does he act with himself? Like, he does it more than
So
Jean Claude
many,
Van
like
Damme
all of
does.
them
Yeah.
now. Yep. I was not
So
surprised at all when it happened.
yeah. So I guess in hindsight, yeah, that ending really does suck. I changed my mind.
Because they mentioned that there is cloning capabilities because some guy had 2 wives that were just clones of
Oh, yeah,
they're
I
just
forgot
clones.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't put the two together. I was like,
And I wasn't
oh,
even aware that the main bad guy like wasn't seen yet. They were just talking about him and they weren't. I
right.
thought they knew who he was. They just haven't shown him yet.
Well, I don't know if they did. I missed it.
Yeah.
Because they had the
So
those two goons chasing them the whole time.
Yeah.
yeah, so I think at that point I was supposed to figure it out, but somehow the Adventures of Pluto Nash managed to outsmart me.
Right. Same
I
here.
guess I didn't quite catch it,
Yep.
somehow. And then you got the opening scene. You have Jay Moore, which didn't we mention him in the last episode? In that movie, the gangster movie or what?
Oh
Married?
yeah,
Oh, the mob.
Mafia.
Yeah, mafia. Yeah. So,
Uh,
um, so yeah, he's in the opening scene, and like they're gonna like dump battery acid down his throat or something like that. Like it's like okay, whoa, some hardcore mob stuff, on the moon. Let's see, the CGI. There was some of that. None of it was particularly good, but I like
no.
that they
No.
tried. There were a
And
couple cool little landscape shots, but
yeah, your typical early 2000s CG.
Yeah. Big
mhm.
explosions.
Oh yes, there were some big explosions.
Yeah, and the bad guys had like the stormtrooper bad aim effect. Like
Yeah,
there was
but
a lot of the shooting scenes were them just missing a shit ton.
yeah, it's like I'm not gonna expect anybody to find this movie to be like better or smarter than something like Galaxy Quest, obviously. But but I it was kind of experimental in its own little way. I mean, I like the fact that they were just kind of that it was more plot based. So even though the plot wasn't particularly good, it kept me interested. I wasn't bored watching this. So
Yeah, I'll give it that at least.
Yeah, there's a
yeah,
lot of familiar faces too.
yeah, yeah, they were, which I was pleasantly surprised by.
Yeah, like
Yeah, like Baldwin was in there somewhere.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. What was
uh,
that you were about to say?
John Cleese.
Yeah, yeah, that was funny. It was dumb, but it was funny. Yeah.
Joey Pants.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I think it would have actually worked better if they hadn't tried to do anything funny. I think if they had actually just made it a genre film and sort of went with it, and maybe have Eddie Murphy sort of exercise his serious chops a little bit, maybe try to do like a Blade Runner thing,
Yeah,
or
I think
speaking of Harrison
Yeah.
Ford.
yeah, I
What
think
was
if because I think most of the comedy they tried to do was with Randy Quaid. I think if that character was more serious, it could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
And change the name of the movie from The Adventures of Pluto Nash.
Yeah,
That was
Yeah.
just too cheesy. Like, the movie sounds comedy, not as serious as one would. That this
Yeah.
movie tried to be a little more serious space mob type movie. But The Adventures of Pluto Nash just makes it sound kiddie / comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not really a kids movie like at
No.
all. And it's not because it's particularly dirty, but more because like the jokes in it that are like for adults, like the jokes are mostly just dialogue and like it's stuff that would just go
Yeah.
over most kids'
Oh yeah, it was
heads.
mostly just like witty things Eddie Murphy said. This is the only
Yeah,
funny parts, but I definitely wouldn't call this a comedy in any stretch.
yeah, neither would I. So, um, I don't know. Do you have any more thoughts on it, Zach?
Not really.
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's overall pretty forgettable.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, even though I'd say it's better than, I don't think it deserves to be on the bottom 100 personally. I think it's actually like not a bad quality film for what they're going for, but it's not memorable by any means. It's not, you know, gonna make your dreams come true. It's kind of an empty movie ultimately.
Yeah.
Um, not bad necessarily, just not really good and
It's
not like
pretty
bad enough to be good
mediocre.
enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I do agree. It probably could have been up on the list or out of the
yeah.
list.
I would describe this movie as watchable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'd probably give it like a 2, personally.
Yeah, I gave it a 2.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd give it a -2. Why not go with you guys?
Yeah, it's okay. You know, just not really worth watching. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. The music was
I guess.
shitty.
Oh yeah, I didn't
I
like the
did.
music.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of real cheesy fucking music.
It's I didn't mind the fact that it was familiar songs, but I didn't really appreciate the fact that they weren't really used very appropriately. Like there's no like they wasn't really any context to any of them. None of them were really cleverly like implemented. I feel like having a soundtrack that consists of other songs like can be done well if with the right movie, but this with this film it just didn't feel appropriate, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah.
One of the things I wrote down that he smuggled was a frozen chihuahua.
Oh,
So.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was funny because you know Chihuahuas they're the most antagonistic little dogs. Like, ugh, and you know, don't get me wrong, I don't wish harm on them or anything like that. But I gotta admit, like the sight of a frozen Chihuahua, like I do find kind of funny. Like, so,
Yeah. And one of the other running gags, and it was the money on it was of Hillary Clinton, $1,000 bills
Oh,
with
yeah.
Hillary Clinton,
oh yeah,
like
yeah, I
implying
noticed
she
that.
made presidency or something.
Well, yeah, they implied that she became a president. So that's an example of a dated joke. And
Yes.
also then they also mentioned they also actually mentioned Trump in on like a billboard or something, I think, in
Yeah, I
this
think
movie.
so.
Yeah, I want to say I
Yeah,
think they did too. Yeah.
yeah. Which it's not the first movie that mentioned Trump or had Trump in it. I mean, everybody knows about Home Alone 2, Lost in New York City, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah. But anyway, uh yeah, I did, but the money joke did kind of make me chuckle a little bit, you know, because it's like, oh, okay, well,
Eh,
there you go.
what could have been? It
Yeah,
would have
early
been
2000s.
a prediction if she won 2016.
Yeah, and I mean, it just goes to show you, like, that's kind of what we were thinking, you know, at the time the movie came out. So in a way, there's a little bit of a historical quality to this movie. I mean, I mean, to me, that sort of humor deserves at least a little bit of preservation, just so that like people can understand like the way people thought back then, you know.
Mhm.
So, but I mean, that's just my sort of anthropological side, sort of
I
coming
don't
out.
think it's that deep.
No. All right. So yeah, overall, you know, Pluto Nash. That's forever.
That's Pluto Nash, Eddie
Yeah.
Murphy.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And we'll see you on the next one. So bye.
See you for the next one. Later.